Hello, everyone. You're welcome to my YouTube channel, Master Mentors. In today's video, we will talk about name mangling. In Python, name mangling is a mechanism that alters the name of class attributes and methods under certain conditions to provide a degree of privacy within classes. Specific identifiers, for example, variables and methods that begin with double underscore are targeted. How does this work? First, mangling refers to when a class attribute or method begins with a double trailing underscores. Python automatically preappends the class name to the attribute or method name separated by a double underscore. Now, what this means is that when a class attribute or method, okay, begins with a double trailing underscore, what Python does automatically is to preappend the class name, okay, to that attribute or method separated by a double underscore. Mango names can be accessed using their original names. For example, self dot the double underscore followed by the name of that attribute or the method. From outside the class, what you simply do to access mangled names is that you simply use object dot single underscore the class name double underscore the name of that attribute or the name of that method. I will show example very shortly. But before I show you example, let me digress a little bit to explain what is happening here. Remember in our previous video, we talked about public method or public attribute and private method or private attributes. Now, when you have a private method or a private attribute, which means you cannot access that attribute from outside the class, except from within the class. Okay, you can use Python name mangling to access that private attribute. That is exactly what I want to demonstrate in this video. Now, let's move down and look at the purposes of name mangling. One, name mangling discourages direct external access to attributes and methods that are intended to be used internally within a class. We have a private attribute or method, and then we don't want them to be accessed from outside the class. What we simply do is to mangle the names to discourage such access from externally from the class. Secondly, it prevents name conflict between attributes in different classes or between class attributes and inherited attributes. So when we use name mangling, we tend to avoid these conflicts. Okay, precisely, we tend to manage the Python's namespace. Now let's look at example. Example one. First, let's look at class attributes. Then we'll go to class methods. So here I have a class of animal, then instantiated the class with the name, parameters, name, and species. And then I have mangled the self dot double underscore name to name, self dot double underscore species to species. So this attribute becomes private to this class, can only be accessed from within the class, and that's why I have a getter here, which is get name, return self dot double underscore name, and then get species, return self dot double underscore species. If I run this, I have this in my namespace, and then you can see that the double underscore name and double underscore species within this class animal becomes, if you want to access it externally as mangled name, it becomes a single trillion underscore, the class name, which is animal, double underscore name, and single underscore animal, which is a class name, double underscore species. So you can use this to access this name internally and also what externally. Let's demonstrate that now. So here I have an object animal that calls the animal class, passing the name and the species. Okay, the name is dog and the species is golden retriever. Now let's print the object animal dots. First, you see a single trailing underscore, the class name animal, followed by a double underscore name, And likewise, let's do that for species because we have mangled the name and the species. If we run this, what does it return? It returns the name, which is dog, and the retriever. Likewise, if you print animal.getName, returns dog. If you print animal.getSpecies, it returns the golden retriever. We want to access the mangled name externally. What do we have? It returns an attribute error and it tells you that name attribute does not exist. The object has no such name attribute. So you see, but because it's a private attribute, but to access this, we simply use name mangling, just call animal, which is what I've demonstrated earlier, and then followed by the double underscore. If you run this again, it returns the name of that animal, which is dog. Now, let's look at the second example. In this second example here, I want to mangle a class method. And so, first of all, since I want to do some mathematical computation, I will import maths. And so I have a class circle. The circle is defined by a radius. And then internally, I have done something here. Here, although I've say, so to say, I have a set of diameter which is 2 times the radius, and then thereafter I have two methods. My attention is on the methods. Here, I'm looking at the methods of the class. So I have two methods here, and I've mangled them with double underscore perimeter. Okay, and then I decorated the compute area with a property, and then this returns 2 pi r. The maths called I use the math library to call pi. Likewise, here I return the pi r square, which is the area of the circle. So I'll run this to have this in my namespace. Then I'll call an object circle. Okay, let's use a circle to make a full circle, and I pass in the radius equals 3. The radius equals 3, right? Passing the radius equals 3. Now I can use name mangling to access the perimeter. How do I access the perimeter? I simply call print circle dot single underscore. There's a single trillion underscore, then the class name, which is circle, followed by a double underscore, and then the method name, which is perimeter. And likewise, I can access the diameter here by calling circle.diameter. If we run this, what does it return? It returns the perimeter and the diameter. The diameter is 6, which of course, obviously, we can validate that. 2 times 3 is 6, and that's the perimeter pi r square. Likewise, I can access the area, the compute area method. Remember, it is decorated as a property. So what means that we can just call it without passing a function call. The double underscore perimeter method is not decorated by property, and that's why we just made a function call on it. So if I run this, what will I get? It returns the area of the circle. So the key points with name mangling is that one, name mangling isn't truly private enforcement like other languages. It is still possible to access mangled names if you know the modification pattern. Two, it is primarily a convention to signal which attributes or method are intended for internal use. So any method intended for internal use, you simply mangle that method or that attribute with a trailing double underscore. Okay, so assessing it outside the class will have to use the concept of name mangling, which we have demonstrated with the last two examples you have seen. And lastly, using a single leading underscore to indicate a non-public member, but without name mangling, is a common convention for internal use. So once you append a double trillion underscore to an attribute or to a method, okay, for internal use, it works automatically with Python's name mangling. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Share this video, like this video. If you have any question, leave it in the comment section. If you're just watching my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And when you subscribe, do not forget to click the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload new videos. I will see you in my next video. Bye.